it, Liz. Wait for it, Liz. Ready? You.
Ding.
Hey,
good morning.
Yeah, we're going to get there eventually.
I'm just in a different part of the studio. Matt's still here. He's at a different monitor, but we wanted to start you off pleasantly on this Thursday. You probably walked out the door and noticed it was a lot cooler today than it was the last couple days. And if you take a look from our tower cam, it looks like a really nice day in Baton Rouge, but this is not so indicative of the rest of the week ahead. If we take a look at the forecasted rainfall, we're looking at this ugly mess. And that's what our First Alert weather team has been tracking, Matt, for the last couple of days. But there is some good news. According to some of the models, it's shifted a little bit to the east, which puts us on the west side of what would be, if it is named Claudette.
Right. Claudette, right? Claudette.
That's like the name of the ant that it gets really angry if you cross her lawn.
I think you're right.
And you better have a poop bag with you.
Is she? Oh my gosh! And
Claudette's gonna let you know.
Is Claudette like English? Is that like the ant from England that comes over, or you go over to see that particular she gets angry often? Is it that person?
That and Deep South, an English Deep South ant. Your great aunt, Claudette.
That is a mix that no human being wants to be a part of.
No, that's why we want to stay on the west side of Claudette.
And that's exactly what this is. It's the top story, Liz. This is what we talked about all morning long. It's sitting there waiting for folks as the top story. Where is this thing going to be? And Steve's been looking at it. And we just saw behind you that potential, it's not a path, the potential rainfall and where that may land. And that really is for a lot of folks, I can bring it up kind of large form for folks to take a look at. And as you mentioned, it has the potential rainfall shifted a bit east. We always talk about the dirty side of a storm. Whether or not this thing develops into a depression or an actual name with a tropical storm, that's not the focus. The focus is the amount of rain and what side of that system we land on.
That's it. And that's why we're keeping an eye on this. And again, we've seen it shift in the last 24 hours. It could shift again, back forth. So you just have to stay with us, our entire team, over the next really week or so as we figure out what it's going to do. But that key impact we're keeping an eye out for is really a wet Friday, Saturday, that's going to linger into Sunday. So just make sure you have our WAFB weather app. Keep checking out through our newscast and our weathercast to see exactly what it's going to do. But some key things happening today. The governor's preparing for this with his Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. So he and his team are getting ready to talk about how the state is going to prepare for this.
Come on in.
And they're going to... There we go. I didn't want to walk right in front of it.
Oh, well,
But we're expecting to hear from him twice today. First, it's going to be about this. How is the state preparing for more rain this weekend? And that is exactly what we're preparing for, rain.
And that's what we'll be talking about the folks from FEMA, what we're looking out for. And here's the thing, it's not just preparing for what is to come, it's also dealing with what is still left over, which is a whole other kind of conversation, right? It is, folks, let's say we were all dry and nobody had water in their yard right now. Okay, this would be another kind of thing that we'd have to get ready for, another different level of getting ready and preparedness. But we all know what we're still dealing with, and for a lot of folks, all they got to do is open their door and they see it still in their yard. So that's what a lot of this conversation is. That's again at 11 o'clock, that first conversation, and then another one at 2:30.
That's it. And that one's going to be about COVID-19 vaccine incentives. So there's still that push to get Louisiana, at least the adults, to a percentage that is to have the adult population vaccinated. So the state, the federal government, is incentivizing people to get vaccinated. We're going to find out what those incentives are at 2:30 today.
Happening. Also happening today, something in Ascension Parish that kind of relates, it does relate to all this, a potential moratorium on new neighborhood or commercial construction.
So they're having a parish council meeting tonight at the government complex there in Gonzales on East Worthy Street, 6 p.m. and they really want residents to show up here to sound off about this. This is your chance to say, hey, I'm for it, I'm not for it, this is my concern, I want you to hear what I'm saying. We saw one man's yard this morning, Ron Babin. So he's got water all around him. He's kind of got a moat, but water hasn't come inside his home, but he's scared this weekend that water will. So if you're in that similar situation, you want to say, look, we need to stop development for 12 months or whatever. That is all being discussed tonight.
When the swamp comes to visit and it does not leave.
That's scary.
It's very scary. And for those who have flooded before, it's something that you never it's something you really never give over. I hear from some folks like, hey, look, there's nothing you can do to control it. And that's right. There's nothing I can do to control it. But you still kind of worry about it happening again because you've been through it before. You know what that involves. Just the absolute mental exhaustion. But there are some things that we can do down here that maybe might make us feel a little bit better, like we're being a bit proactive with some stuff. That includes sandbags.
That's it. We've got a list of locations of all of the different places you can get sandbags, not only in East Baton Rouge, but in Ascension, Iberville, all of our surrounding parishes in our viewing area, where if you need to get those ahead of time, you can do that now. We've got some tips. Perry Robinson had some really helpful tips. For those of you saying, well, this is stupid, I know how to line a sandbag, but do you really? There's a proper way to do it to ensure it actually acts as a barrier. So we've got everything listed for you here in this story.
All the locations and those tips, and like you said, I mean, we think down here we kind of know what
it should be common sense. I didn't know until we talked about that, until I saw Perry's story. So there is a tried and true method.
There really is. And, you know, one of the things, like the last time I went out and filled up sandbags, I was tying the ends, right? Not necessarily something you need to do.
Right.
And the idea is, if you don't tie the ends, when you get them to where they need to be, right? You have the ability to kind of make them a little bit thicker if you need to, or thin them out a little bit as you spread the sand out within the bag itself. If you tie it off, it's a little more complicated. So anyway, maybe you get it to where you want, and then if you want, you can tie it off. But it's not necessary. Just fold the flap underneath the bag. And then if you have that plastic wrap that's a part of this overall barrier, it's you know, it really is something to think about, the measures and the steps that we go to like that, just to keep home dry and safe. But it's something we've kind of gotten used to.
It's your shelter. You want to make sure it stays safe.
It's a lot of that. So all that, the ability to do that, all those things open today. Something else happening today.
Ooh, yes.
We talked about Q&A session.
Yes.
Where we go? It's down here.
So the Louisiana Department of Health is hosting a Zoom Q&A meeting. It's virtual. If you're concerned about your child getting COVID-19 vaccine and you want to ask your doctor, but you don't want to ask your pediatrician maybe, well, this is a great place to go. LDH is having a medical panel of people from all over the state ready to answer your questions. The only thing is you need to pre-register for this event. Not anyone can just click on the link and attend. So we've got this story on our 9 News app, and Matt's pulling it up to find you that link.
All the fun stuff.
So you can pre-register to get those questions answered. Because that's a big deal. When you have children, you want to make sure you know what's going in their body.
And look, I got no problem talking about vaccinations at all. I'm fully vaccinated. Our oldest, our 16-year-old, fully vaccinated. Our twins, 13 years old, they've got the first shot. The second one is coming. And those were all conversations with our doctors. Those are all, hey, let me know about this. Let me know about this. And it was easy conversations. These medical professionals who do this for a living are there to make this easier for all of us. And so if you do have some questions, though, still lingering, this might be a good opportunity. They just ask that you register to be a part.
Free.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
Just pre-register.
Callie Hubbard, this morning, had one of those prime locations, prime stories. This is one of our favorite ones all year long, and it has been for now the 11th year.
Driving the Future campaign. In fact, do we have a Skyline camera to show off by any chance?
Hold on, let me find.
While it looks, Driving the Future, Matt, we've been doing this for 11 years, and what's so cool about this is, you know, the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital has rised from the ashes. It is such an incredible complex.
We rose.
But that's all thanks to the community who decided to say, hey, I'm going to buy $1, $2, $3, $50 raffle tickets, and then you bought those tickets, and the extra incentive is winning a car, right? At the end of the day, everyone is a winner because you donate to this children's hospital. And I know it's repetitive when you talk about, well, I don't have children. Why would I ever need the services there? Do you have a niece, a nephew, a child in your life, a neighbor? Any kid can use the service, whether it's for a broken bone, a scratch, a major heart surgery. There are a number of reasons why you would want to support a children's hospital like this. And we have something this incredible here in Baton Rouge.
We do, and I wish I could find it for you.
Well, you know what? That's okay.
Do you know where it is?
I was just talking about the regular Skyline camera, just because it's Our Lady of the Lake.
It showed up, and it's a different one.
That's okay. It is sponsored by Our Lady of the Lake, but what's cool about the Children's Hospital, and it's always a pretty shot. We love to check in on the capital city from Port Allen.
Not bad.
But
this is one of those organizations and one of those drives that is personal. If I'm telling my stories, then our firstborn needed a lot of help in a very specialized place, a NICU. We weren't living here at the time. But to have that kind of help available when your world sometimes is seemingly crashing down around you, and this was a very high level, and that's not always what Children's Hospital is about. They can be there for the smallest of things as well, but they are there when your world as a parent and for your child seems to be crashing down around you. And to have that kind of technology, and to have that kind of professionalism, and to have that kind of heart in our own backyard. I get emotional talking about it just because of things that we went through, but you see the stories of the folks in our community It's ridiculously important, and it's so easy to get involved.
And the beautiful thing about this is that this is a community hospital.
Yeah,
Our Lady of the Lake will never turn away a child because they can't afford the services there, because a family or a parent can't afford to get their kid the help they need. And the beautiful thing, also neat about Our Lady of the Lake, is that yes, the Children's Hospital is built, but they have the option to expand it, I believe, 3 more floors. So that means extra intensive care for children who need it. Because you know, kids are kids, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Kids are kids, and their bodies are developing and growing, and they're always going to need help. So the ability to expand, we're going to keep needing to raise money for that expansion. We're going to keep needing money to help ensure that these kids can actually be taken care of at a world-class facility like this one.
Like this one is.
Yeah.
And so for what, 10 years we talked about building amazing, right?
Yeah.
Making it happen, building amazing, getting the funds ready to build amazing. And y'all did that. And now it's about keeping amazing going, as you talked about, keeping that drive, keeping those funds coming in so that we can help the youngest in our community, not even the youngest, all kids of all ages, right there in our own backyard, keeping this drive going. The deadline's approaching, as you mentioned, to get these tickets.
We've got about 1 week left for you to call in. So there's a phone bank happening all day. Callie was live at the hospital. She's going to be live there at noon again. So you need to call in if you want to get that lucky ticket. The extra incentive is winning one of these 5 beautiful silver Lexus vehicles. Yes, they are. Gorgeous. They've got sedans, they've got sports cars, they've got coues, they've got SUVs. So a number of options here. And I tell you what, we're going to go live. Greg's actually going to be live as the winners. That's right. As the hospital facility, the staff members, the sisters pull out the names out of that hopper. So you need to make sure you get your ticket before all of that happens. So about a week deadline. That is beautiful.
It is just gorgeous. And every time you drive by it, you're amazed by it, and you realize all the good work that's going on in those rooms and those hallways. It's an incredible facility. Thanks to you.
That's it. Keep it going, y'all. Keep it going. 11 years in the making. We're going to continue that gravy train.
Gravy train.
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's exactly what this is. WAFB Plus. It is. Well, is it a gravy train?
It's a lumpy gravy train. You know when you ladle it and it's got a lot of lumps?
So we still need to work on something.
We are.
We got to whisk it into shape, so to speak.
Ooh,
don't bring a whisk over here.
If it's gravy,
but yeah, you never know quite what we're going to be serving up here at WAFB Plus. But we do know this whole lineup continues to increase. Johnny Asian was on a couple days ago. Obviously, we're here with you every morning. Jacques Doucet with his Jacques Talk on Wednesdays. 9 News investigators going to be coming to the pluses here as well. Scotty Hunter and the crew. Obviously, that is these stories are talkers.
I tell you.
Exactly. Big time talkers. And we'll see about. Look, this weekend could get interesting. With the weather. But Kylie's going to have you ready to go.
She works hard, doing the hard work. She actually does. She's interviewing the people, business owners, talking about all the different things to do here. Very important to have a lifestyles report in your team, so you know who to go to when you need recommendations.
It's the lifestyle kind of the world down here.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah.
All sorts of different lifestyles.
We're Louisiana living.
Hey.
Yes.
With our gravy train.
With our gravy train.
So all the places, Amazon, obviously Roku, Apple TV, the YouTubes. And then, as always, back in the big studio a little bit later on.
Please join Steve and Scotty today at noon to find out the latest on your weather, on what we're watching this weekend, and really the day ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Y'all stay safe. See you after a little bit.
Have a good day.
Bye, y'all.